This show is a part of Pop Americana. For more great shows like this one, please check the link in the episode description. Cartoons, the animated frontier. These are the voyages of the Cellcast podcast. Its continuing mission to explore strange new cartoons, to seek out new animation styles and new creative storytelling methods, to boldly go where so few ever go again.
Am I wrong? Okay. This progress is a part of Christian Geek Central Network. Wrong. Hey, Scoop, what are you doing, man? I don't know. I'm supposed to be reading an ad. All right, hold on. Give me it. Okay.
All right. This podcast is part of the Christian Geek Central Network at ChristianGeekCentral.com.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cellcast,
The animated series.
Joining me today is a man who, despite this being his first day on the job, is already taking a personal day, Jacob.
We all need a break every once in a while.
That is true.
Why, thank you. I'd like to introduce our co-host, a man who just can't break a habit. Welcome, Drew.
How are you doing, Jacob?
Little Stevie's name. What's up? How about you?
Oh, I'm doing all right at the moment. Today we are, of course, going through Tangled The Series. We are on Season 1, Episode 12, Big Brothers of Corona. This episode first aired on October 1st, 2017, a little over a month after the last episode aired. Mm-hmm. It was directed by Joe O and written by Han Yi Ling. It features the return of James Monroe Eagleheart as Lance Strongbow, Richard Kind as Monty, and Gideon Emery as Anthony the Weasel. It also has the first appearance of Vivian Vencer as Angry and Ruby J as Red. Summary for this episode. When an infamous thief turns out to be two orphaned little girls, Eugene and Lance try to turn the girls away from their life of crime. Now, this episode did not have any trivia, but there was a goof.
Yeah.
And that is when Eugene is quoting the rules of not being a thief, a portion of the background is out of place.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. What are your thoughts on this episode?
It's two guys who were trying to better two younger thieves, and they're doing not the greatest job in the world.
No.
But they're doing their best, and it takes a thief to know a thief.
That is true.
It's a good episode. Obviously, we're introduced to, Red and Angry, or Angry and Red, whatever order you want to put them in. Two little thieves, and it's like, oh, we got the perfect mentors for you. Lance and Eugene.
Yes.
That sounds like a perfect idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they try. Admittedly, they are both reformed criminals.
Yes.
Mostly.
Yeah, for the most part.
And Eugene's whole job right now at the Kingdom is to help them catch a thief. And right now, the biggest thief that is at large is... the Shadow Striker, I think is what they call it?
Yeah, the Shadow Striker.
Shadow Striker, and they're trying to get them to think this, and they end up figuring out it's these two girls. Mm-hmm. And it's like, good on you girls for being that ingenious to never be even seen. Mm-hmm. The entire time you're doing all this thievery in, the busiest hour of each shop?
Yeah.
And the only reason they caught them is because they... tricked the tricksters.
Pretty much.
Apparently they'd never seen a shell game before.
Apparently not.
That's old school.
Yeah, they are young after all.
True. But I do love Rapunzel's design for her trap that ends up getting Cassandra.
Oh, that's right.
It's like, it's a little obvious. Well, yeah, it's like, no, don't touch it. The being obvious was the point.
Right.
Here, let me get you out of this. No, I can take care of it, Rapunzel.
Bam!
I could have gotten it out of there a lot easier. It's like, oh, my leg.
Well,
and I had immediate flashbacks to thousands of episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants. I know you've never watched.
No, I haven't.
There's a character on that show that anytime something disastrous happens that would affect the town, there's always some character in the background shouting, oh, my leg.
Okay.
Anyway, and then poor Cassandra.
Yeah. Oh, good
She
night.
just wants to take a nap, and Rapunzel will not let her.
There again, she's a very kind, loving soul who just can't
Right,
help but
and
help
she-
people.
And finally, throughout the course of the episode, while talking with Lance and Eugene,
Yeah.
she comes to realize, like, okay, she doesn't want help. I'll be here when she does.
There we go.
And that's all you can do in a lot of cases.
Exactly.
Although, admittedly, putting Max on patrol outside the...
Dum, dum,
Uh,
dum, 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 dum,
I love how they didn't even have to show Max. You just had the sound effect of him walking up and down the thing. It's like...
Yeah, you see his shadow.
She
but-
was like, okay, that's ingenious. And especially that says, like, I'm sorry, I forgot that those two guards like to bicker, so I went and sent them home. He goes, okay, thank you. She gets straight turned, and then you hear Rapunzel say, and I left Max in charge. And she just shuts the door. It's like, that's not a good idea. And all of a sudden,
It's called hooves.
like, I don't think Max would fit in the doorway, but whatever.
Who knows?
Anyway,
that side story is so well done.
Yes.
It's so funny. Exactly. You feel bad for Cass because it's more. Cass's problem is she has to do everything by herself.
yes,
everything.
She doesn't like getting help.
No, she doesn't. She's trying to prove herself over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this one bites her in the literal foot.
Yes, it does bite her in the foot.
Quite literally.
Apparently, she's using a sword for a walking stick.
Stick.
I'm going, that's got to be murder on that blade.
Yeah. And if you get it stuck, you're going to be in worse pain than you were
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, and I know those are bricks. Those are stone bricks that thing you're putting that on. It's like, and this may not be the best idea.
Yeah, someone's probably buying a new cutlass.
Probably. Or maybe that she was using an old cutlass.
That could be it. You never know.
Or, yeah, it was a cutlass. But the whole episode is great. And the design of the two girls,
Yeah,
they're so cute
they are.
and adorable.
True.
That's like, I can't believe these are the thieves. And then you see them steal stuff in front of you. It's like, are you sure they're the thieves?
Are we sure?
Are we absolutely sure? Okay, yes, they're the thieves.
Well, cuteness can be deceiving. Let's say that.
Yes. And I love how we don't know their names. I don't think the close. I was literally tempted to call Angry Nunya.
Nunya.
Nunya. Because remember she says, oh, we're the business sisters. Business sisters.
Businesses.
My sister doesn't talk, but you can call me Nunya. It says, so Nunya business. Thinking, I did not just fall for that. I did not just fall for that. But I did. So, that's ingenious. And I really want her name to be Nunya now, not Angry, because Angry is not as original as Nunya.
Right.
But still, she has the gall to say that in front of the king.
Nunya.
Like, we're the business sisters, and I'm Nunya. And King Frederick's standing right there. It's like, you got some guts, kid.
Yeah, a little bit.
And of course, they're working for the Baron.
The Baron.
And they're going through the Weasel. Which
Yeah.
I don't.
Gosh.
I don't think the last Baron episode we did, which was Return of Strongbow, I don't think we mentioned Anthony the Weasel,
I don't think we did either.
but he was in that episode,
Yeah.
and he's about as stupid a character in this. As he
Oh
is in
yeah.
that. And I don't mean badly designed. I mean he's that much of an idiot.
That is true.
It's like,
That is so true. The fact to be like you do have Red and Angry. Like one, Red doesn't talk, except she talks
She's
like
got 5 lines.
She has 5 lines.
And I'm convinced those are the only 5 lines I could get the little girl to actually say in the sound booth, and they just wrote around that.
Who
Could
knows?
be. I don't know.
Don't know. But
Because you can definitely tell the voice actresses were the right age for the characters.
yeah,
This was not an older person trying to sound like a little girl. These were little girls actually voicing this.
yeah. You had the fact that they're both very scared of the Baron, and be like it's that almost that connection point between
Yeah.
Eugene and the girls, where it's be like you're too scared to get away because you're almost indebted or
you're trapped.
You're trapped.
You're trapped by the fact that you, even if you got away, you probably would still be found.
Yeah, exactly. So to them, like, there's no escape, and it's
Right.
It's that overwhelming
And
fear.
they're just trying to steal enough that they can get away.
Yeah, exactly. We can
Which
we can buy our freedom.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I don't think it works that way. But then, of course, you get the best scene in the whole thing
Mm-hmm.
where, Flynn and Lance give themselves up.
Oh yeah,
So allow
that
the
was
girls
a
to go,
great scene.
and the girls go back to where their treasure hoard is.
Uh-huh.
And of course, Red, the sweet girl she is,
Yeah.
talks angry into, we got to go help them
Yeah.
because they're the first people who actually cared about us.
Yeah.
So they go and they actually do the whole thing that supposedly Lance and Flynn
Uh-huh.
made the stop and drop.
Yeah. Stop and drop.
It's like, oh, you use the. It's like, yeah, we thought we'd go old school for this one. It's like
Perfect. It was
perfect. It's like, okay, and then of course the girls get away before they can get caught,
right.
and Flynn and Lance are going to give themselves up. It's like they're going to take responsibility for all the stolen stuff, but then it just mysteriously shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't know where this came from, but this is everything. And so the king wisely says, well, if everything's here, then I guess nothing was stolen.
No, guess not.
So no one's responsible.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, it's a good episode.
It is a
It's
very
fun
good episode. Good episode. You get a lot more character development within Eugene and Lance. And almost a kindred spirits and Red and Angry.
Red and Angry. And thankfully, I did find out those girls do come back.
They do.
And I'm looking forward to those episodes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. So join us next time when we review the episode The Wrath of Ruthless Roos. Roos?
Roos?
Say that again.
Yeah, you said Roos? Ruth.
The Wrath of Ruthless Ruth. Come, Jacob, we must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
The same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast.
Oh, boy.
So where can they find you, Jacob?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, also on Facebook at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw each and every day. I don't get to it as often as I like, but join me there. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Jacob B. Heron, on Twitter at Jacob Heron, and Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. So where can they find you, Drew?
You can also follow me on Letterboxd at ggeorge759, Facebook as Drew Dodgen, my Facebook page where you can see pictures I've taken at Drew's Photo Bin. You can also follow me on Twitter at ggeorge759.
You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at cast_cell.
You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thecellcastgaming.
You can also follow us on YouTube at Cellcast,
Listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts,
Google Play Podcasts,
Stitcher,
Spotify,
and your favorite podcast directory.
You can also listen to us on the Movie of the Week podcast with Jim Heron, where we talk about live action movies. And remember, Cell is a single L.